Hello and welcome to Erotic Book Club, the book club where we read erotic books. I am your host, Jess. With me, as always, is my co-host,
Rekha.
Rekha's here. Thank you so much for being here, whether you are listening wherever you get your podcasts, whether you are checking us out on CH2, or whether you are getting us at our favorite place to listen and hang out with us on Dropout. If you are a Dropout subscriber, not only do you get the Erotic Book Club podcast, you get all of our podcasts as well as all of our awesome shows. D20, Gods of Food. We still have those episodes rolling out, and they're so funny and great. People are loving them. So please subscribe to Dropout. And not only do you get to see our shows, but you get to be a part of our Discord where you get to chat with us and all of the cast members. We have an Erotic Book Club Discord. I pulled off some comments from that. Gavin says, not trying to put you lovely ladies down, but Dropout is the best app I've ever gotten. Your podcast is second only to Actually for my fiance and I to watch before bed. Gavin, you didn't put us down. You made my day. I had no problem being second best.
The Erotic Book Club before bed.
I know.
That's what I want. I was like, that's a saucy message, Gavin.
We've had a couple of couples who have been like, you've kind of like brought us together. Yeah. And we love, being in bed with you.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us into your bed.
I also love that you keep it like intellectual foreplay with Actually, and then like, you tone it down with a little bit of Erotic Book Club.
Through the mind into the body.
Very good, Gavin.
Very good, Gavin. How would I pronounce this? Lazuriel says, I legitimately want to write a fantasy erotica with lots of brown nipples for @Reika.
Thank you.
I laughed so hard at Titanic's giant metal boobies that I spit up my drink on my keyboard.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
We're trying to fry motherboards everywhere.
Yes. That's why, metal boobies aren't in so many eroticas because it would ruin all keyboards.
Yes, exactly. And thank you for the brown nipple appreciation. That's like a movement we're trying to do. 2020, brown nipples.
Reika's also been keeping an eye on eagle clits in the Discord.
Oh, yes. We have a lovely discussion about John Feathers and Maggie erotica from Escape from the Blood Keep. And I love this discussion about if eagles have cloacas or prostates and like how one would draw and or write an erotica between a demon and an eagle. So please keep us posted. We would love to read this erotica. It sounds great. And honestly, I still ship John Feathers and Maggie. This is a personal endorsement as someone who played Maggie. Please write them. We want to see it.
Eagle Cloacas 2020.
Yeah, Cloacas 2020. In the Democratic debate, watch
Warren
the Cloacas.
Yeah. Great. But as you all know, we are here to discuss an erotic book. This week, we have My Five Bosses by Penny Wilder. And, me and Reika are big dumb idiots. We can't suss any of this out without experts with us. So we have two incredible experts with us. For My Five Bosses, we knew that we needed a boss expert. So we got the boss expert. We have with us
our
Reich,
boss.
Our boss.
This is so ill-advisable.
I can't believe you said yes.
I legitimately, I was like, well, Sam's our boss. I was like, he's not going to say yes.
Yeah, giggle.
And then Marie posted his response. He goes, good Lord, yes.
The fact that I'm here feels like a game of chicken that went too far.
Yeah.
Now, reading this book, was it similar to your experience as a boss?
No.
And that's the answer we like to hear. We also are big dumb idiots, and we don't know anything about what it's like to be an employee at an office. So we had to get our office expert, Rachel Van Ness, on the horn. Rachel, you work in an office, correct?
Correct.
So
yes.
did you relate to anything in this book?
Only in that it would like truly be my worst nightmare. But yeah.
How many of your bosses do you live with?
Oh gosh, this is embarrassing, but my boyfriend was my boss.
What? Okay, forget you being an office expert. This is now.
Oh my God. So you only live with one of your bosses, though.
Yes.
Interesting.
Whoa, you are a boss lover expert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to ask you to speak on like some of the relations here and if it's like unique to just like a regular boyfriend girlfriend kind of relationship or like this is actually kind of where boss employee takes over.
Yeah, I'll truly come at it from both sides.
Okay,
So,
great.
Great. Wow. Whoa.
Wow, that is
Just
the
like the
biggest
bosses did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
Thank you for catching that, Sam.
From all sides.
Yes.
So my 5 bosses, if you haven't had the pleasure of reading, the characters we'll talk about is Anya, our protagonist. No real description given for her. Assume she's blonde and thin and
Yes.
tiny.
Anya, I think Anya is a Swedish. I could be wrong. It sounds Swedish.
Oh.
But then again, one of the winners of Project Runway, spoiler alert, is from, where is she from? Togo? Or she's from somewhere, a country in Africa. And she's a person of color and her name is Anya. So that's all I'll say.
Maybe it's her.
It could be her.
All right, Reika, don't put your fantasies into this. We all know
could be.
this is a
I know.
tiny white
It
woman.
could be
please.
a curvy brown woman, and I'm just saying 2020.
You're out of
please.
your mind.
There was no description of her, which is apparently that's pretty normal.
It's supposed to be kind of like empty vessels for you to
Yeah.
put yourself into. But the way they often end up describing things like hey, porcelain, milky white skin, you're like, okay, that's not an empty.
She was at least considered
Yes.
tiny, but these men are also behemoths, as we find out.
Yes.
Some of them are like
They're big bosses.
very, very large.
It's like a
men.
Bowser.
We have Beck. He has dark hair, and he's kind of like the sensitive boy, we could
Yes.
say.
But he also has green eyes.
Yes.
So
So
And-
please keep
yeah.
that in mind.
And tats under his shirt.
And
that
tats.
You can't
Colorful
see normally.
tats.
colorful
Yes.
secret tats.
There's Jason. He has light hair and light blue eyes, and he's kind of like the horny, naughty boy.
Yes, and a fair complexion,
Yes.
to be clear.
Winston, he's more reserved, and he's the sexiest ginger in the world. And as we come to find out, he is the Bowser of the group.
Yeah,
he
the
really is.
big
These are
boss.
Bowser's
Oh my
children,
gosh.
and he's the Bowser.
Yeah, he's like maybe a King K. Rule.
Yes. Oh, totally. Totally.
We have Derek, who's an extrovert, tall and slim. And honestly, I don't remember much else about
Race
him.
unknown. I'm assuming white.
A bit of a bore,
Yes.
to me at least. He's kind of the boring one.
And then we have Trey, who is sensual and dangerous with dark bedroom eyes, which at first coded to me as a POC. But he's not. He is white.
Yes.
Baggy jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sweatshirts.
he was
He
the
did,
skater
yeah.
boy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm in Trey cosplay.
Yes,
today.
he's got a hoodie. Sam has a
Ooh,
hoodie.
Trey
Something you'll only know if you're a
cosplay.
Drop Bet subscriber. Sam's
Yeah.
wearing a hoodie.
That's
Now,
right.
just based off those descriptions, was anyone drawn to a favorite boy kind of right away?
Rachel's got a fave.
Yeah, I've got to go for Winston the Bowser.
Wow.
Just because.
Bowser is a redhead too, is he not? Oh my god! Whoa!
Yeah, because it was kind of weird.
spiky back.
My boyfriend and I guess my boss once
This is incredible. Sorry.
is a tall ginger who likes pastries. So for me, that all checked out.
Wow. At least you're loyal. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're loyal to your
Reka,
boyfriend.
did you have a favorite?
Wow. A diverse array of white men. Who do I choose? I guess Winston seems cute.
What?
But like
I can't believe everyone's saying Winston.
I don't know. I mean
He seemed like such a doofus.
I don't know. The soda can dick countryman. I'll say Trey because he's sensual.
Okay.
I mean,
Sure.
Jason just sounds like he's translucent. So I like can't.
Oh, we're
and-
going off looks. I was going
yeah.
off kind of personality.
Oh, then maybe
too.
Beck.
Oh.
Yeah,
Come
Beck
on.
was my
Package.
favorite.
If it's personality, maybe Beck. All I
Sam,
know
was
looks
Beck your favorite?
Like this podcast, I can already tell is totally going to bring out some of my switchy nature. But so
is
like
Sam's
I identify, I think more with Beck, but Beck is totally not who I have the hots for.
Ooh.
Trey would be who I have the hots for. Sure. Yeah.
Sensual, dangerous, dark bedroom eyes. You heard it here first.
Whoa.
A Sam Reich story.
So you cosplayed to represent him?
Yeah,
tonight?
yeah. This
Yes.
is me. Yeah, this is him on top of me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, Jess, you were Beck.
I think I like Beck because he's nice and he asks questions.
Yeah.
and he wasn't a total douchebag.
Yeah.
Winston just seemed like such a douchebag, as we'll get into.
Winston was one of those characters where like, he's so mean to me. I hope I can make him nice. It's like, it's also nice when someone's nice to you.
He
from the get-go.
ignores me. He must like me.
Yeah.
It's kind of grade school
Yes.
BS.
Yes.
Unlike the rest of this book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
It
just
really stood out.
Yeah.
Totally.
A mature 27-year-old man.
Yes.
Barf.
So Anya gets a job at an app company. It's called the Tap Company. It's her first day. She's very nervous. She goes in and it's not what she was expecting. It looks more like an adult daycare with video games and like a cool hip tech office space.
Yeah.
And she meets her 5 bosses, and all 5 bosses, I guess, drop whatever important business they're doing and take this one graphic designer on a tour of the office.
I will say, on my first day at College Humor, I did not even get a tour. So, I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm kind of bummed every single person in the company didn't get up and tour me around the 3 rooms.
It is very hard to tell if this is if the 5 bosses are all the people who work there and it's just them and her, or if there are other people. It's somewhat implied that
There
maybe
are
there's
other people, but none of them are hot and small.
Speaking as a boss, I'm troubled by the lack of hierarchy in this 5 bosses relationship. It feels like a recipe for a lack of accountability.
Like
Yeah.
all 5 bosses have the same tier of management level.
Yeah,
One should be above the other.
Trey was sort of a coder,
Yeah.
right? We learned that.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We don't know what the other one
Is that what drew you to him?
Yeah, his reclusive bad boy nature.
Well, and I will say, like, as an employee, you want to know, like, where your
Who do you report
directions
to?
are coming from, who you're reporting to.
Especially at an app company where I feel like you really want to get the ball rolling fast on like you on tasks and those kind of things. Everyone should have a very distinct role. So to have 5 bosses and maybe 1 underling.
Right. Is that the structure of this company?
I
5
did
bosses?
find there was like a hierarchy in the bedroom, though.
Yeah, Beck was boss.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Winston was boss.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Who do we report
Boss is
to?
in the eye of the beholder.
Well, because Beck, I felt, or I guess we'll talk about it later, but he seemed alpha almost. Like, he would be like, step off.
I
And then
thought
the
he
other
was the
guys would come in.
manager.
So the person who
Taking
comes
care of
in
the day
you
to day.
is your direct boss.
Yeah.
And the person who comes in your ass is their boss.
Yeah.
I thought he was like the CEO for sure.
I got that impression too. Oh, well, I got the impression that
Coming executive office.
CE
Come erect.
Chief officer.
Chief come.
CCO.
Wait, that's
That's
your
my
your
title.
CCO.
That's my title. I didn't mean to do that.
We knew this would get weird.
So they're taking them around, and they're instantly is kind of a flirty back and forth. You really know your way around graphics, don't you? Said Jason, which I thought was just an odd thing to say.
That's
anyway.
Such an odd thing.
Knowing your way around graphics,
That's
like
what you-
clicking a
yeah.
mouse.
That's when you see like tech in like a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days kind of movie where it's like, holy shit, you copied and pasted fast.
Whoa, business.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is good because we can get a little graphic around here. He winks. You like team challenges? So we're laying out the groundwork right now.
Yes. She also says that her bosses are a little older. They're all 27.
Yes.
Which, dear God. My old hag bosses.
Are you sure you can take anything? There's 5 men here. That's a lot for a small girl to handle.
Always have to mention she's small.
And I'm glad she's a girl, too, and not perceived as a woman.
A woman?
Yeah, she's called girl a lot in it and not head of graphic design.
Cool.
For
But
Tap.
that's for me when the entire thing fell apart was with that one
Chapter
line.
1.
Chapter 1. That one line was because we've complete this would be an HR situation right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that comment.
I bet, but here's what I predict, and honestly, sequel, I bet HR is also a sexy man.
Oh.
Or she has to go to complain, but then
And
he's
then
sexy
he's
too.
like, so you want to file a complaint, huh?
You really know your way around our HR policy, don't you?
You'll have to insert the complaint into my ass.
And then he adjusts himself. All this talk is getting horny. I like seeing what authors like particular things. She loves boners and like
through the
elastic
pants, like through
bands
slacks,
and boners through and a bit of like dry humping, I think. And she also loves titties jiggling. Yeah, I noticed she likes to discuss how her boobies jiggle when she's. Which I thought was fun. I haven't heard that one a lot.
It's
and
nice.
It does happen, and I do always think it when it happens. I'm like, oh, my boobs are jiggling. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
Okay, so end of chapter 1. Chapter 2, the bosses bring her to her apartment, which I thought, oh, this is interesting. And then they go, oh, and we live here too.
And we rented this for you. And I was like...
So far, no red flags.
Okay. So far, checks out. So did this happen to you as an employee?
At my current company, no. Unfortunately, they didn't pay for any of my housing.
Weird.
None of that checked out. Is a huge bummer.
They at least brought you to your house.
The 5 of them.
Yeah. All 5 of my bosses brought me to my house and showed me around. And then it turned out they all slept in the bathtub.
Yeah.
There was such a weird, convoluted reason for not only them all living together, but there only being 3 showers.
Yes.
It like took 2 paragraphs.
Yeah,
Just
just half the
explain
book.
like this is why we all live here so we can all fuck here and
their
shower together.
Cooking situation was so confusing. Like they all had their own separate kitchens that they had to cook in separately and then bring it all to a communal area.
I thought that was going to play into something
Because she...
Yeah.
I guess to keep things sterile.
Very common for these old Victorian buildings. 6 kitchens,
Yes.
3 showers.
Yes. She also said a line that like is an interesting trope that I don't know if we've discussed, but like is apparent in a lot of these books. She's like, all I need is a coffee maker and I'm good to go. Or I'm like, oh yeah, I don't eat a thing. Like that kind of trope of like, I'm a businesswoman. I just need to eat coffee and shit it out. And that's all I need. And
Well, she eats pastries and goes out to fancy restaurants.
and eats fish.
And eats, as we'll get to. She's shown around and she's taken to her bedroom, which is a room covered in mirrors. And this I wrote, this is a horror movie. And she decides to get on the bed and kind of roll around and show off that her thong's hanging out a bit, which I thought was very fun. She puts on a show. And then that's kind of the end of that first day.
I will say they have a line about like what she wants to wear to work, and she goes, "There's no way anyone's going to keep me from my stilettos." And when paired with the right outfit, they don't even look slutty. I'm like, okay,
she's a total Carrie, and it's true. Yeah, there are some women who, what a terrible thing to say.
Yes.
Winston kind of ignores her at work. The other boys are very attentive, though.
And reveal, like, kind of that they are into her. Trey confesses that.
The end of the chapter, it's revealed that they're all into her. Then they start to bring flowers, flirt, watching her, like, walk around.
Yeah.
It's a thoroughly creepy scene with Trey, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It could be right out of a horror movie, where I think he describes himself, she describes him as, like, 2 inches away from her.
Yes, in like the break room or whatever, and like he stops her coffee from running over. Yeah.
Which, like, that's not a natural. I had to stop and visualize what 2
2
inches away from a person.
2 inches is where this mic is.
Yeah.
Hi.
Very close to someone at work.
How are you getting along here?
Sweet.
Hi.
That would be so sweet if somebody was earnestly. Well, no, please don't do that.
Even if a kid, like a dog was this close to my face, I'm like,
Me never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of feeling her. She's fantasizing herself with them, imagines the perfect version of them being all. She wants to take a little bit of all of them and make them a transformer.
Yes.
I liked that part.
I like that part too.
An Optimus Prime.
I was like, maybe she is a graphic designer. She's creative and fun.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. She's
Totally.
building, she's graphically designing the perfect man.
If only someone could shepherd all of these men into a single man.
If only there was a dog of sorts. If only they could herd these men into one big man.
Oh my God, she was the border collie.
Oh, she's the border collie.
Whoa! Wow!
Holy
Whoa! This
shit.
book,
Is
we're
this book
realizing
good?
how deep it. Yeah. So Beck finally asks her out on a date, and she's very excited for it. They decide to go out on the date tonight. Of course, the house only has 3 showers, so he organizes it so that the shower will be ready for her to go in. She's all excited. She's not sure if it's a date or not. She goes into the shower, but there's somebody in there.
Uh-oh.
Winston is in the shower, and there's 2 shower heads in the shower. So he offers for them to both take a shower together.
And now, yeah, I heard you, viewer. You were saying, how big is his flaccid dick? It's the size of a soda can. And now, here's a question to the group.
Yes.
Did you imagine in length it is the size of a soda can, or in length and girth?
For those of you just listening, Rekha does have a candle in her hand right now, acting as a soda can.
So, like, I know it probably just meant length, but I somehow pictured also girth, and that was gross to me.
Yeah, I pictured a flesh-covered soda can where
Like a
his penis
koozie.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dick, a foreskin koozie.
I totally imagined length and girth.
Yeah.
Which really gave
And
me
then-
pause.
Yeah.
and a little tab on the
And
top.
then it's full of jizz.
And that's how he pee-pees.
Yeah.
Don't shake him up too much.
Yeah, it'll explode.
Yeah.
And don't put him in the freezer. It'll fucking explode in your
I
face.
imagined him, because this is Winston, and he's described as kind of like an Outlander,
very topical.
extra. I imagined him as Tormund from Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
So just really big and jacked and sexy.
Yeah.
In that way, I did like him.
You liked it.
But I just didn't like his personality.
Yeah, he's got a bad personality.
He says, we'll both shower butt to butt.
I won't look at you.
Yeah, that way there's nothing sexual about
There's
it.
nothing weird about it. We'll just be ass to ass. It's fine.
She's in there, but she can't help herself. She wants to touch butts. So she goes back to touch him, but she doesn't feel a butt. She feels a pee-pee, an erect pee-pee.
And then she turns around and he goes, my dick has a mind of its own.
Right.
And then it winks.
Now, Rachel, common employee experience?
Oh man, all the guys so many men at my office, dicks of their own, just guiding them around from task to task, like truly like the deer of Santa's sleigh.
Yes, yes.
I think this part was crazy. He's into it, she's into it, but they don't quite want to do something yet. So she tries to wash her vagina sexy. There's nothing sexy about washing your vagina. You have to like hover and get under, like, oh.
Some toilet paper bits got stuck in there, so I have to wash it.
Some
You
people
like
need like a
this?
special pH like soap to do it, because the other soap isn't good for it.
But do you guys think there's no way she has pubes in this book though? Right?
Well, because she's 16 or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I
didn't picture her pubes.
I didn't picture her pubes either.
I'm just maybe cleaning was easier. I don't know how cleaning vaginas work.
I'm playing this coin. I don't know why. She describes herself as shaved in the book.
She does?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, thank you, Sam. You don't have to feel
Thank
quiet.
you.
It's a detail
Yeah.
revealed in the book.
I'm leaning in more as the show
Yes,
goes on.
exactly.
Yeah, lean in. Don't let us.
Don't let a bunch of women stronghold this podcast. She washes her vagina, and then she can't reach her back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you need some help? And she's like, yeah. And then he washes her, and he washes like her butt cheeks.
This is before her date, by the way.
I know.
For her date with his friend, co-boss, her boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we feel about this? Do we like this scene? Was this sexy? This is kind of like the first sex scene, or sex-ish.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine.
Did anyone like it? Dislike it?
I think shower stuff is always exciting.
Yes.
I'm bummed at how it started.
Yeah.
But then, if I, just kind of deleted that from my memory, then I could be like, well,
I feel like a lot of the book was
great.
like that. It's
Yeah.
like I have to
Yes.
accept that this is the world, and that, she's going to do her bosses, so we have to get over all of the, issues that come with that and taboos. So let's just... and anything with a shower with 2 shower heads would make me very excited.
I love the idea of 2 showers.
I would be like, you get out, and I'm gonna.
I know.
I want both.
I don't.
It feels so good.
I shower with my back to the shower.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not because I wouldn't like a front. It's just like if I have to choose, and you do in a regular layperson's shower, you have to choose. That's what I choose. But if I had the option of both, I'd be like, Winston, get the F out of here.
We're all agreed the most exciting part of the scene
the
is
two
just
shower
dual
heads.
shower heads.
Imagine two shower heads hitting you at once.
And do you
front, back, double penetration.
double penetration from two shower heads.
Double moisturation.
Yes. Oh my God.
I was in a shower once with two shower heads, but they were both on the same side. And I like a very hot shower.
Me
and
too.
Kate likes a very cold shower. She wouldn't consider it that, but that's what I consider it. And it was heaven.
I remember once my boyfriend, when I told it, like, I was like, I had the water in the faucet really hot. I was like, this is like the temperature I like to shower at. He goes, what are you, pasta? Because I like
Sweet
truly burning. Yeah, I got fucking roasted. Burnt to a fucking pasta crisp.
That's so funny.
That is what's hard about shower stuff, though, is like it's so rare to meet somebody who wants it the temperature that you want it.
Yeah.
So like one person's always like a little less than optimal, I feel like.
And what do you think? Okay, who should take one for the team? The person that likes hot or the person that likes cold? I have an opinion and it is biased. I think the person that likes cold should take it for the team.
Whoa.
I think because I'm shivering. I think you can get a little cold if you just stand a little further away. But I'm shivering if you like it cold and I don't want to be in it. And then if I'm stepping away from it, I'm even colder.
I'm a hot, and I would say I think the hot has to take the
See, you're
cold.
sacrificial.
I agree.
Same.
I'm also a hot. Wow. And
Because
I
a
have
hot
partner,
could burn you. A cold, I'm not
Yeah.
going to get frostbite, but a hot, I could see where it would make your skin like red.
No.
I have
I'm in the
taken-
same boat. I'm
yeah.
so sorry, Reika.
It's okay. I'm very selfish. I think cold,
Yeah.
you should take it for the team.
I've taken what in my mind are like lukewarm baths
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And showers are meant to be heavenly, so it kills me. It kills me when I have to take a cold shower.
Me too. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because hot shower, I take a hot shower before bed. It makes me very pleasantly sleepy.
Yeah.
And if I get lukewarm, then I feel like it doesn't have the same effect.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is why I think cold should take it for the team. I think I'm trying to do good and you're trying to keep cool. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Talk about it in the Discord. I'd be interested. Do you like showers? I don't know.
We'll do a new shower room for
Yeah.
people to sound off about.
Yeah.
showers.
Yeah.
Okay. Head to the shower room for all the shower heads out there and talk about what kind of shower you like to take. If you talk about anything except showers in there, you will get kicked out.
Yeah.
This is going to be underneath the Tang Gang in Discord.
So Anya bends over a little for him, revealing her butthole, and he's about to put his thumb into it when there's a knock at the door. So it's time to stop all that. And then we go on our date with Beck. Beck picks her up, takes her to a rooftop
And also-
cabana.
Picks her up from where? They both work and live together.
You know, you drive the car around the block and then come back.
Just for appearances.
I felt that too. It was like she got all dressed up and he was wearing the same damn thing he wore to work.
I know. She literally wears a plunging neckline, like
bodyguard
Yeah.
contour.
Yes.
There were a couple things with that. Like one, she was like, I'm wearing this dress, like this very sexy dress. So just in case it's like a casual work thing, he won't notice that I'm like dressing up. And then the other thing was, I think he like was wearing like all black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she somehow justified why he was wearing the same clothes, but was now better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's funny because it made me think if I was going on a first date with someone, unless they were like, we are going to the opera, I don't think I would wear like
Totally.
I might wear a dress that was like a normal dress, but I wouldn't wear like a plunging anything. And I'm curious if that's just a me thing.
Well, she had to up from the stilettos she wore to work. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. True.
This
True.
is San Francisco in 2018, so it's a different culture.
Fuck. It
You
was
have
a
to put
different
yourself
time.
in that mindset.
Take me back to caveman era. San Fran 2018.
She gets up there. He's rented a cabana for them.
Yes. And he has a surprise.
Yes, and there's a surprise. He opens up the cabana door, and all the bosses are there waiting for her.
The way she phrases it, oops, is my other 4 bosses. Which it makes me laugh every time she's like, and then my 5 bosses were. It's just like such a unit. Yeah.
They all speak in unison.
Yes. Ew. Ew.
Yeah, Beck told us he was taking you out for drinks. The rest of us wanted in on the action.
Yes.
So she orders a sex on the beach, which makes them all giggle because they're 14.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. That was realistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they talk about different rooms that they want. Now Jason wants a sex room
Yes.
with dildos and vibrators and
Yes.
butt plugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the shower gets brought up. They all know that Winston and her took a shower together.
Yes.
So I was surprised how quickly it kind of just instantly
Oh,
got
yeah.
into. Then that led into them all doing it in this cabana. And they were
Yes.
like, don't worry, we've told the waiter
Yes.
not to come in.
We'd like to push your limits until you're a soaking mess.
Right. And also,
Fun.
like, if you say no, things will be totally normal.
Yeah. Yeah. They do give her that like little consensual out. Like, hey, I want to fucking rail you in the mouth. But if you're not into it, let's just talk work stuff.
All 5 of us, your bosses, would like to fuck you in this cabana. We've
Yeah.
paid for men to not come in and bother
Yes.
us. Would you like to?
Yes. Now, Sam, you have bosses too, right?
I
Yes.
do.
So you can also speak from a unique employee perspective. If you were to go out to like say a big boss dinner
function.
like
Sure.
at the big boss expo or whatever. And like something like
Bossapalooza.
Bossapalooza 2019.
Yeah.
And something like this were to happen, how would you react?
Yeah.
Or have you reacted?
Yeah, if it
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah. Great question, Reika. Yeah. No, like, I do think like there's a little part of my sexuality where like the idea of getting dominated is actually like kind of exciting.
Oh, of course. I think
Yeah.
that's true for a lot of people.
Totally. But I think in this situation, my common sense would prevail. Has prevailed, would prevail. And I would not agree to get, gangbanged by 5 people. If only because, like, honestly, like, the amount, like, 5 bosses is an overwhelming amount of bosses.
So if it was just
so,
Barry
too.
Diller, you would consider it.
Me and Barry on a dot.
Here's what I think. I think that, like, I max out at 3.
Sam, this is exactly what I thought. The
Oh my
entire time I read
God.
this book, I said 5 is too much.
It's too
When it gets into the
many.
description, too, it just gets messy. I'm like, who's where, what? How many
Yes.
hands?
I think,
Yeah.
How much, what were you going to say, Rachel?
I think that's indicative by the fact that like 2 of the characters seem
Had
the
to
same to
watch.
me.
Oh.
Yeah, and had to watch.
yeah.
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 I think 2 at play and 1 watching
Is your max?
is enough, and then we rotate 1 out.
I think
and
I'm
I would like
2.
breaks as well.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's too much on this one woman.
So, like, and there are points where, like,
I
you
would
get
like
up,
to watch.
they go at it together.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
curious about that. I was like, the men in this.
The men never do.
No, they never interact with each other. It was
But clearly,
That-
there's a little bit of,
Yes.
like, a little
That
bit
2
of
watch.
er-
That must.
eroticism.
That is
they
something
have
that's
to-
happened in a lot of these erotica books where there will be same sex like intercourse or like play, but they don't ever like admit that they're into that. They're like, oh, because there's like an opposite sex person here or opposite gender,
Yeah.
whatever, we're into it. And like you're like a byproduct. But it's like, dude, it's fine. I just watched, this is a spoiler for Glow, so don't listen. Bleep,
Oh.
lower your volume right now. There's a cool little threesome scene and it's really hot. And like 2 of the dudes like kiss and it's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they admit that they like it.
Yeah.
Okay, volume up.
I do think this book more than any other one, at least they're like, will say I enjoy watching,
Yeah.
or when they all come in her vagina, they all like that they're the last
I
one
was
had
gonna
just
bring that up,
come.
They like
too.
that it's like
They
a
like
melting
the
pot
idea that they're
of
all
like
together. They
cum.
will say that.
She talks about being scandalized by that language in the book.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yes.
one moment where she's like, it surprised me that he would say something so dirty. And I'm like, you're right. It's
We're beyond, yeah.
You're right.
Excuse me. I think I feel like 2 for me is the number.
Yeah.
I don't know, but to your point of like taking breaks, that feels like I mean, like, if basketball players have to do it, I'm going to certainly have to do it. Like, I need to bench myself.
Yeah, no, I did feel overwhelmed by how many guys there were to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the Greek chorus of responses when everyone's like, get the dress off her. Yeah, get the dress off her. Yeah. I'd be like, everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in like the Odyssey, where like in Greek. Yeah.
Also, that attention paid to like, let's make sure, like, if one of us gets a kiss, all 5 of us get a
That
kiss.
was
and that's just like
gross.
too many echoes. Like, that's like the sense of obligation that would come out of that.
Yeah,
is
they're
way
going to
too
end
much.
up like 6 months down the road, nobody's going to be having sex because she's like, well, I would love to have sex with Beck, but I certainly don't want to have sex with all 5
of you.
Totally.
That felt also
Yeah.
very little kiddish. Like if they're kind of treating her like a sub and they're kind of doming her, that felt very like not even sub, but just like babyish. Like, Mom, you gave Beck a hug. You have to hug all 5 of us or whatever. It's no.
We can all agree the sequel to this book is called Breaking Up with 4 of My
Yeah.
I will say though, the descriptions in the book of the sex are I thought that they were really good.
Yeah.
I thought they were well detailed, or like sections of it. Once it was like talking about the eating out or talking about like the different things
Right,
they
they
were doing, I did enjoy sections of it.
They
It was just
covered
hard
both
to tell who was
sides.
doing what when.
Yeah.
Is this generally true of erotic literature now that you're both such experts?
Oh, did we finally get an expertise in free erotica?
Does it tend to be written in sort of this very kind of objective, Ernest Hemingway, like short sentences, matter of fact kind of a way?
For sale, cum rag, always used.
It was either early reading level or just like really matter of fact, depending on how you look at it.
I think some of them, it depends on what is trying to get you off. I think because this particular book is about being taken over by 5 men, I think it is meant to be more like direct, fuck me kind of stuff, as opposed to like a romanticized, like Vikings in space was very... like, because it was a romance between her and this Viking, it was a lot more like...
Being held.
yeah,
and
like kind
Yes.
of...
The emotional factor.
Yes.
Yeah, this didn't have much emotion, which is maybe what I liked about it.
But you also like the emotional stuff of like in
I like
Viking's
blankets.
piece. Yeah, he brought her a fucking blanket, and that's where we learned Jess' obsession with blankets.
Gifts are my love language.
and gifts. Yeah.
Oh.
But you weren't a Winston fan.
But I wasn't well, I don't like pastries.
Oh.
Okay.
If it were like olives.
olives,
I
if
was
a man
salty.
brought me olives every day, okay. No, I would like it, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like hot.
I would like it.
Winston came to me in the morning bringing me a fresh batch of olives from the deli.
Yeah,
olive
and they had
bars.
pits in them, so he brought me a plate to spit them in.
Hey, it's my fantasy. Oh, one part I hated of this was when Trey fingered her and then held it up and said, "Check it out, guys," and then
That was
ate it.
that was like the what is it? No, what the fuck is that movie with the underwear? 16 Candles. 16 Candles.
Oh, okay.
When Michael Hall, oh my God, I don't know any of the details I'm trying to say. He holds up the underwear and is like, look what I got,
Yeah.
or whatever. That was that.
Yeah,
There
it
was also
gross.
a part, it may have been in a different sex scene, but like where they talked about like her juices were like connected to his mouth by like like a long string of spittle, and I was like, that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Too
No.
much spit actually grosses me out because it eliminates the feeling of like self lubrication sometimes. If it's like to me, the same with like going in the shower, like sometimes it's hot, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's actually just too wet and not hot.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hot showers for all.
So all the guys are going at her except Winston, who is watching from a distance. Then all the guys kind of finish, come every which way. And then Winston gets up and is like the closer of the situation. And they've all been kind of preparing her butthole for him. And so then he does her in the butt. And he has the biggest penis of all. He's like the big boss of them all.
Bowser.
Literally, one of them says, "Time to bring out the big guns." And then Winston, it reminded me of like a wrestling match or something.
Yeah.
He comes in, does her in the butt. And then that's the end of that scene.
What do we think?
It's weird, right? I mean, yeah, like we're all preparing you for the final boss kind of thing. And like this, it's almost, it's this weird objectification of him too.
Yeah.
As being this like,
or that they're all like his little minions, and they're so excited for him to come and do it the last
La
round.
cucaracha.
Another part of it that didn't really do it for me is like the three guys before Winston kind of treat her like a carnival game where they're just trying to come onto her butthole.
Yeah.
Like it's a target.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that part of it, I was like, that feels bad.
You
for
win
me.
the giant Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah. A rainbow poop emoji.
Oh, God.
Her body is spent. She's got to go home and get cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then
So do they. They live in the same place.
Yeah. And then they ask her to be their communal girlfriend. So it's not just sex for them. They want to all be girlfriends too. And she needs some time to think about this. So the next day she goes out on a walk and she goes to a dog park. She also has to think of her design for her logo, the one job that she has to do.
Yeah, before the tech expo comes up.
She sees a dog and remembers her border collie and is like, that's it. That's what the app does. Because the app organizes
The app
your
Rearranges,
apps. Yeah.
organizes the apps on your phone based on how often you use them.
Which
Yes.
I think two things. One, sucks because if I happen to be using like Google Chrome or whatever more one day,
Right.
but I'm using I remember apps by where they are.
Yes.
So like I will often just click, and if I delete an app, I often have like a growing period of learning, oh, a new app is in that place. I keep clicking this by mistake. So that sounds very annoying to me. And two, the phone already does that. You can like categorize. It doesn't matter.
No, but it's just like that's a great question. I had so many questions about the tap company, like their
Yeah.
This is
organizational
where the boss
structure.
part comes in. This is where the boss part comes in.
Like, this technology and like how it works exactly. But do you think it's an app where it rearranges your apps like as you're using them? Because that,
hope
like you
that's so
described,
annoying.
would be completely annoying and ineffective.
Uh-huh.
Or is it something where it's just like you use it once and it shovels them all around?
And is it an app in itself? So is it always going to be the first app?
Oh, great.
Well, it
question.
has a logo, so it must.
It must
have-
be an app. in and of
We're going to
itself.
want it to
Be
be
an
the
app.
first app with that logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here with this app.
She figures out the logo, goes home. She's all excited. Hasn't showed them yet. And then they have another kind of fuck fest at the house. And this one was filthy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of pretty much do all the same stuff they did the first time. There's one odd moment where someone comes inside of her. Jason comes inside of her. Isn't he afraid of getting me pregnant? Does he even care? Then never talked about or dressed
Nope.
again. And I'm like, do you care?
Yes. Right. That's like one paragraph.
Yeah.
And it's those two sentences.
Yeah.
And then it's never.
Very few
addressed
erotica mention the idea of birth control or like even the idea, like even if she has some sort of like IUD or the like the arm implant thing, no one would ever say it because I guess that's not hot. I actually find talking about that stuff very hot because I'm like, the hottest thing to me is not being pregnant.
Yeah, good. You're
when I
not
don't
worried.
want to be.
But also, like, heaven forbid she has one of their babies, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, what about my baby?"
Yeah,
and then
have
she's
my
gonna have to have,
baby.
like, 5
Totally.
babies.
Yeah.
to keep
And then
them
they have to
happy.
decide which white baby who
They're-
it belongs
Yes.
to.
They're all so much the same. You'll never be able to
Oh wait, this one
guess.
came out in a loose hoodie.
Yeah.
Must be Trace.
This one's got a Coke can.
Yeah. Ew.
Little baby
A mini
can.
Coke bottle, like a glass.
We know
of-
who that is.
Oh.
I thought it was weird because I thought she was almost taking it as a compliment. Like, does he like me enough to get me pregnant? I was like,
Yuck.
whoa.
Oh,
Hey, he
Then
doesn't
they-
control that.
Then, of course, to prepare for Winston, because he's always the closer, they're all going at her. But they flip her upside down and spread her legs like this,
Ow.
like out. And then he has sex with her. This ends in a question mark. I'm not sure if this is what happened. So if she's like this,
Yeah.
and then her butthole's there, and his penis goes down like this,
Yeah.
how?
Here is the church.
Yeah.
Here is the
Yes.
But it was double penetration at that point, right? Because
Well,
Beck
no,
was
double
still
penetration was later, I
Oh,
think.
I'm
You know
getting
what
ahead of myself.
that reminds me of, like when you open a bottle of wine, the like
Oh, totally.
right.
The opener,
Yes,
when it
the more
goes
you
the
it goes
arms.
out, and then you go
Oh
like,
God!
should've.
No, Reika.
How could you standing up do it? He would have to. It couldn't be enjoyable.
She was like over the side of the arm of the couch at that
So
point.
she was like a
Yeah.
bit bent over, but
Okay.
her legs were out like this.
so she must be able to do like a split.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
There's actually, yeah, she took gymnastics for 7 years.
Oh fuck! I
Yeah.
forgot that part. What were you gonna say?
That's all.
Oh, great.
There's a whole backstory.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a prequel to this book that's very wholesome. It's
It's
about
very
childhood.
My
Sweet.
5 Olympic
Training-
instructors.
Yes. Oh boy. Too topical.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, she's from Michigan, and oops.
God.
Then one of the filthiest things I've read in any of these books. One of the guys brings out a camera. She asks him not to. He doesn't listen. And they have all come inside of her, and they want to film the cum coming out of her. So they bring out a bowl, and she squats over the bowl, and they film her having 5 loads of jizz, 5 massive loads of jizz coming
Like
out of
drip
her
out of her.
vagina.
Like
Yeah.
it reminded me of those.
Like when you're trying to get the last of the shampoo out of
Yes,
the bottle.
yes.
They're fucking
You
shaking
tap
her
it.
over
Like the
a bowl.
beginning is almost like those cinnamon rolls where it comes with the squeeze tube of icing, and then it kind of globs all out, and it's like fine, but then you have to like
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they were there for an hour.
you need to get one of those toothpaste things that like squeegees all the stuff down.
Which does make me feel like in the end, it is more about the 5 bosses' communal bond with each other.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
the thing they're most
Beautiful.
excited to see is like all of their mixed jizz,
Jizz.
like
Jizz
land in a
combined.
bowl.
Totally.
And then
think
they
she's
save
good.
that bowl and they bring it to a sperm donor clinic and they go, we
Yes.
don't want to know whose baby it is.
Yes.
Here's
Yeah.
2 liters of jizz.
Yeah, that's right.
God,
That's right.
2 liters of jizz.
from my Coke can.
My 5 sons.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this, sirs, this is way too much. Oh, we didn't know.
We can make more.
Yeah.
My God. Then Winston carries her to bed and they say, I love you. So now they're the stage. And this is, I'm assuming, all happening in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
How much time do you think has passed for our lovers?
Well, she mentions the idea of he brings me donuts every day or every week or something,
So
right?
some time has
So
passed.
it's I feel like a few months.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Am I crazy?
Well, because it's all gearing up to the tech expo, right?
Tech
so
expo.
I think
Yes.
she's been doing that for a couple of months at
Yeah.
least.
That's
Yeah.
my guess.
Yeah. It is a weird, like, cocktail of wholesome and, like, real dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess is probably typical in books like these, right? But the I love you and then where the story goes.
It's weird.
is like,
It doesn't have to be, but sometimes erotic books will feel the need to justify everything toward the end by making it wholesome, by being like,
Yeah.
and then at least we got married and had a baby, and
Sure,
Yeah.
that justifies all the fucking.
Or
we
we're
did.
in love. It
Yeah.
can never just be I fucked my bosses and we're all dirty freaks
Yeah.
and we have
Yeah.
no feelings towards each other. We do it because this is the way we
It
express
leads to
our
love.
And you're the
Right,
most
right.
magical person in the world.
Like,
and that's why we've chosen
Right,
you.
right.
I am honestly surprised it didn't end in some sort of pregnancy. And like,
I
can I have
know.
maternity
Yeah,
leave? And they're
actually.
like, nope.
It would have been something better. I
They
liked the
fire.
ending.
They fire. And then she tries to
They're
go
like,
to HR, and then
Sorry,
HR is like,
things
you're
are
hot.
real busy
Yeah.
around here.
We need you. Today's
So-
National Women's Equality Day.
Oh, yay. Night of the big expo. She's super nervous about revealing her design. She doesn't want to upset the boys. This is when she gets her first alone time with someone. And then Beck and her, he confesses his love, that they're all in love. And then he eats her out at work. And then he says at the end of it, she like comes and it seems all great. And he's like, I could have done even better if I wasn't so tired. And it's like, chill
That
out,
is
dude.
so funny.
I do want to say one thing that's very nice, though, is he ate her out and didn't ask for anything
Yes,
in return.
that's very
He
nice.
was like, I
Yeah.
was very happy to do this for you. I could
It
have
makes
done
me-
better,
yes.
but it makes me happy that you're
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
Yeah.
Beck was my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
was-
had to like
yeah.
read through again and be like, wait, did he come at any point?
Yeah.
He didn't.
That's love.
Yeah, man.
And that's
Yeah.
love.
Beck is definitely the most enlightened of these complete and total sociopaths.
High five, sociopaths.
Bosses.
So you think she kind of has this one-on-one moment. I genuinely did think that was sweet until you find out the next day that there's hidden cameras in the office and they all watched it happen.
And
The
again,
She cannot have a fucking
creepiest
moment's peace.
So
serial
creepy.
killerist.
so
thing.
creepy, and we still don't know if there's other people that work in this office.
Yeah.
So they are just incidentally being watched, like making coffee and copies.
Totally.
And they're all talking about this at the big expo. Everyone at the expo is clamoring about how wonderful the design of the border collie is, which I've never been to a tech expo. Does anyone give a shit about any design and ever talk about it ever?
No, I mean, this is coming from someone who, like, I love design,
Yeah.
but, like, all anyone is talking about is, you know, functionality.
That's
Yeah.
what it would
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not at this expo.
one's
No, this design was that good.
This design was that good. I wish we saw it. in
I
the
do
book.
too. I wish it was
too.
like part of the cover.
Yeah.
Can I ask regarding like Dropout's design?
Yeah.
Was there any like? Did anyone get all hot and heavy about it? Was there anyone horned up
Ooh,
for our
that
design?
D.
That big D.
You know,
Damn.
I don't think that big deal.
So sorry.
I don't think that I think we were like going too fast to
Hmm.
really appreciate any of the design work. Not to say that it wasn't good.
Yeah, it looks
But
cool.
honestly, the work that Paul is doing right now is to like revisit a lot of the design and
Yeah.
go like, is there a more thoughtful version of this? And what she's coming up with is super exciting.
Is super horny.
Ooh, I can't wait till
Yeah.
we go to bring it to the expo.
Oh my god! And see how many people
We're
come.
gonna have a blast.
Yeah, fuck.
So they've secretly watched her and Beck, and then kind of demand that they all need to be reciprocated
Like
now,
babies,
like
truly.
big babies. So then I think it's Derek, but I honestly have a hard time telling who's who. Sometimes brings her into the bathroom, and she sucks him off in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then they overhear people talking about the design in the bathroom as well.
Yeah.
So she's like
And he
sucking him off, and it's like,
pinches
that
her
doggy's so
nose.
cute.
Pinches her nose.
Yes.
As if to say, good
My-
on you.
Because
And
he's
she's
sucking.
like,
You can't do that. You can't do that.
She suffocates
And then she
dies.
coughs all over his dick and dies. Yeah. They forgot to mention she passes away.
yeah.
The rest of it's a coma tree.
Oh my god! It also the idea. I wish that maybe she had gotten a little horny over people like complimenting her work. That's kind of fun.
Oh,
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I mean, it
I like
is
that.
like a celebratory thing to give somebody else pleasure. But if there was a day that was all about me and my design, I don't think I would be like, oh, I'm gonna suck off this guy in a bathroom. I'd
Yeah.
be like, I might just go masturbate by myself.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly.
Gentlemen, I'm going to go masturbate by myself.
Masturbate by yourself in front of me, then, and then me, and me.
Yes.
They come out. Where have you been? Where have you been? Beck says, because he has great news. He has a sales receipt.
A CVS sales
I
receipt
love this so much. It's
that
like
says we sold the app.
it's like a
Yes.
prop from like a movie made by 12-year-olds.
Yeah, just
Yeah, a big envelope with like sales receipt written
Yes.
on it. in
It's from
Sharpie.
the internet. It's on our app.
yeah. The memo says app.
They're all so excited. They get into the SUV. They start doing it right away, taking off her panties, taking off her dress. They get out of the car. She's half dressed. Some guy walking his dog's like, what's going on? And they're like, fuck off, buddy.
They kill him.
She's ours.
I want that guy's story.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
it was his border collie.
I-
They killed him.
Gave it to-
Anyway.
Oh my
His name
God.
was Speedo. He came from a dead man.
very quickly.
Yes.
Because like I did think about because she talks about how she could buy 5 dream houses
Yes.
with the sale of the company, which
Yes.
I calculated as like 5 times $2 million.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
For a dream house. Well, in San Fran, $2
you
million, I would think, gets you maybe a condo in some places.
I feel like- 'cause
maybe
I
I'm
met
thinking
someone
about
recently-
San Fran, though.
Shit.
who lived in a really nice house, and I think it's from like family money, and I think
Yeah.
they said it was $1 million, and that was a
Okay.
really nice house.
But how long have they had it?
Fair,
I
It was
would.
$1 million maybe when they bought it.
maybe.
20
I
years
would.
ago.
San Francisco's like the most expensive.
Yes, that's what I
place.
mean. I think it would be more.
So maybe it's like 3. So
So
5
let's say
times
3 times 5, 15.
15 times 6. 15 times 6. 3.
Wait, why do
It's
we need to-
$90 million. So my guess was $100 million for the value
of 5 dream homes?
this app that rearranges apps
Yes.
on your phone.
So $100 million. And for perspective, we determined that Tinder is
Probably like $5 billion.
$5 billion.
That's a complete guess, but
So, you know,
so that sounds like maybe possible.
That it could have sold for $100 million. God damn.
we're in the wrong industry.
I'm in the wrong industry. I gotta
but-
get in the tech industry.
Also, kind of speaking to this point of the dream houses, they're like, she's like, wow, congrats on your check. And they're like, what do you mean? It's our check. And she's like, what? And they're like, you did the graphic design. Without that, this app would be nothing. And I'm like, that's really nice and all. No way in hell.
No.
Yeah,
chance.
insane.
No,
No.
fucking way in hell. 5 tech bros are like, the person who drew our app design in the last 3 weeks is as important to this ground floor crew who's been in
A position that could basically be a freelance position.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but maybe maybe the author's trying to set an example of like how tech bro attitudes could be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
something to shoot for.
Yeah.
Have one girlfriend with 5 of your buds
Yes.
and give her an equal share of the pot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And come in her.
I wrote more like
Something to shoot for.
Yes.
instead of my 5 bosses, it's the 6 bosses.
Shut up, Jess. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
Great.
cute.
Our
Yeah.
6
Are
equal. We are bosses.
yay. So they go home. This part I thought was crazy. They have 5 penises. They get a butt plug to get her butt ready for now Winston's butt again, or to be double penetrated by Becca and Winston because they're the 2 alphas. But wouldn't you just use one of their penises? Why bring a butt plug into this?
They truly
Didn't you think that was
already
crazy?
established that they didn't need a butt plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The penis is nature's butt plug. And
You
we
can quote Jess Rekha.
I just thought that was so insane.
An ad for Dropout.
Yeah,
shows
the
up
penis
on
is nature's
social
butt
media.
plug. Oh my god.
I also like though that she was like, I've been practicing. Like,
Yeah,
she
practice
like
for
puts her
you,
butt plug
yeah.
in every night.
Like the way people like kiss like a stuffed animal when they're teens, like practice for kissing. She like puts a butt plug, stuffs a stuffed animal in her ass.
I've been working on 2 things.
Yes.
A dog logo and readying
Readying my asshole.
Who says you can't do 2 things at once? So she's double penetrated by the 2 boys, and it's just the most amazing feeling she's ever had in her entire life. It feels incredible. And Trey is recording it. There's a big part of filming it too. It's like there's already eyes
much
there.
There's so much going on. Who is watching this? There's nobody else in this book.
They promised to never show it to anyone. So I guess they relive it, like they sit and then watch it again.
Ugh.
I don't know. Weeks later, there's a suspicious man who keeps coming to the house. Well, first they took a trip to the Bahamas that we just don't get any details on.
Yeah, that
Which I
wasn't
thought
the
that
surprise.
sounded fun.
Yeah.
Not
That
the
wasn't
surprise.
and you don't have sex in the Bahamas. Sorry.
No,
Just
sorry.
read and lay on the beach.
It's
Yeah.
not an office.
No.
Oh my God. She is still working at the company. They have a surprise for her. This man keeps coming. She thinks it's like a lawyer to screw her over for something, but she finds out that the boys have bought her a house.
This troubled me because if she's a partner, she should be in on those meetings. The fact that she's excluded from those meetings in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
incredible, Sarah.
Or that they bought a house on her behalf. I'd be like, this is a lot of money. What
Why
about
Why
waste
like
that
it?
money? I didn't want to spend
That's
my
what I was
money on
thinking,
that.
too.
What if
I
it's
wanna-
not her style?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
into like Spanish style.
Yeah. What if she wanted to invest it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
more tech?
And they buy her a dog, which I don't think any of these people will take care of an
And
animal.
also, they didn't
Yes.
know about the dog. That was an internal thought that she had.
Yeah, she never brought up a dog. As
well, I
something
guess
she
that it
wanted.
was a border collie on the logo.
I guess so. And
But
they were
to infer to that degree that like, oh, you made for our app, you
Yeah.
put a dog on it.
Yeah.
So you probably want a dog.
Snapchat. Do you want a ghost?
It came up in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Bahama years.
Yeah. And by the way, the dog's name is Speedo. And then she goes, "Oh, did you name it?" And they go, "No, it's a rescue." Well, we go, "Okay."
That's how
Okay.
our rescue guy. That's the same. Our rescued Finnegan
Yes.
came with the name Finnegan, and so we just kept it because we liked it.
We kept
Aw.
the name Poppy.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Speedo's a weird name, though.
Oh, he was named Five Dicks, but we didn't. That was a rescue name. We didn't choose that.
I did that. We never saw any of them in a Speedo. They were never even by a pool. Maybe in the Bahamas they were, but certainly nothing we had heard about.
Yeah. An odd literary choice, to be sure.
And that's it. Then they live their lives in their house.
Except the last thing was the sex room.
There is a sex room.
Jason
Finally.
got a sex room.
Yeah.
Jason finally got a sex room.
They described there being like no furniture, like no art up on the wall. They described the house being very sparse, but then when they go into the sex room, the shelves are filled. This is like where they put the bulk of their attention.
With lube, which between all of them, they have all the lube in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it's just bottles of their cum lining the wall. Yeah.
That's the lube.
They take it out of the wall.
In bowls.
And then funnel it into a bottle.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
It's like people who keep like homemade preserves or whatever.
Composting.
You're composting your own cum.
Pickled cum.
Ew. Yeah, there's like beets in some of them. And like eggs.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's
Daikon.
it. That was my 5 bosses. What did we think? We rated on a scale from 1 being a drought,
Dry as a
5
desert.
being slide out of your chair. How do we feel?
I can start.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this, because now I realize I gave that book, the last book we read that I didn't really like a 2 or something. So I'm like, I'll give this a 2.75. There were some, or like 2.5. There were some like sexy scenes, but I didn't like, 2.75. I don't know. It didn't really do that much for me. 2.75.
This was the first erotica I had ever read. But like, you know, she didn't have a work-life balance. Like,
Unrelatable.
she like didn't have other passions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I still got hot and bothered in bed. So I'll give it like, I guess like as a sexual being a 3, but as a woman maybe a 1.
Cool.
So,
Actually, I forgot the donut part. I'm going to up mine to 3.
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, honestly, it had all the things I like: pastries, dogs.
Yes, true.
Bosses. No.
Bosses.
Yeah.
Offices. What about you, Jess?
I'm surprised everyone's doing so low. I thought there were some
Hot stuff?
I didn't think it was a total waste. I give it like a 3.75.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's up there. I think it's good. Yeah.
Certainly the sex scenes, I was like, I'm feeling a little horny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Also the first erotica that I've ever read, and I appreciated the novelty of it. But I think I need a baseline, so I'm going to say 3 for each of the bosses the amount of bosses that I think I could take.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, a star for each boss.
Aww.
Aww.
Give me a star.
If you give her a star, give me a star. All right, it's 5 stars.
Fine, boys. Fine.
Well, that is it. That was my 5 bosses. We do not have a next assignment because we are actually going on a brief hiatus. But in the meantime, you can catch us on Dropout still. Still chat with us in the Discord, and then we will also be starting up a bunch of stuff on Twitch, so keep an eye out for that. We're going to have not only us, but Sam and a bunch of other fun things happening on Twitch in the coming weeks.
It's very likely that the next time anyone sees Erotic Book Club, it will be live.
So hiatus, but we'll see maybe you soon.
Yeah. Get a bottle of wine ready.
Bring us presents.
Yeah. Have a sexy day.
Have a sexy day. Bye, guys.
Hey, it's Jess. If you like college humor and to support us, sign up for Dropout. For the low price of a quirky pair of socks that show off your fun side per month, you'll get videos like this a whole week sooner, to chat with us live on the Dropout Discord, and exclusive content like the latest episodes of the Erotic Book Club podcast. There's this scene where she eats a cantaloupe, and it gets me.
It's
I
hot.
like it.
It's really hot.
Sign up for your free trail today. Trial. That was a typo. I don't have any trails to give away. I wouldn't even know how to go about doing that. I buy land, I guess. Oh, God.